Brandon here with Spurg today to welcome you to our picks for the best motorcycle tires of 2022.
So we considered the price, longevity, performance, and intended use of all the tires in the market for the past year to determine winners in 5 different categories that represent a wide range of riding segments.
We're naming 2 winning tire options for nearly every category, each pick a little more fine-tuned to that particular riding style.
So let's kick things off this year with our first category, the best budget tire for the street. And our first pick is going to be for you sport and sport naked riders out there. The Dunlop Sportmax GPR 300s are coming in around $200 for the pair.
The GPR 300s are designed to offer great performance at a wallet-friendly price. If you own a small to mid-displacement naked or sport bike, these are going to be a great affordable option to consider. And if you have any doubts, check out the $1,000 Track Bike Showdown CTXP episode with Ari and Zach. The GPR 300 tires were their go-to affordable track rubber.
So the first time that I actually used these tires were on that same Sonoma Raceway for the Ninja 400 launch. Ari and I both came away with a fondness for that little pint-sized Ninja, but we had a commanding respect for these tires. They're not only a great casual commuter tire, but they're also going to be able to handle those spirited weekend rides when you're out with your buddies as well.
You can expect to get about 5,000 miles of good grip out of the rear. That is, unless you're a battle-toed rider, keeping that throttle nice and pinned.
So the GPR 300s are going to be limited to 17-inch wheel sizes, which means that our second pick for the best budget tire for the street is going to be for those of you out there with cruiser wheel sizes, and the winner is going to be the Shinko 777 cruiser tires, which come in around $250 for the pair, give or take, depending on the size you need.
Consulting with our resident cruiser expert, Patrick Garvin, which we both know and love, he recommended these Shinkos. The 777s feature sizes ranging from 15 inches to 21 inches, making them an excellent affordable choice for cruisers, standards, and even vintage bikes. And for those of you out there looking for white wall tire options, these could be your ticket.
So they're going to be constructed from a single compound aramid belted rubber that Shinko claims is designed to offer improved stability at speed. There's also going to be a heavy duty variant which features a reinforced carcass to help reduce flex for those of you using these tires on heavier touring cruisers.
Shinko claims superior traction in both wet and dry riding conditions, and customers confirm that they're extremely pleased with the grip these provide. However, their biggest complaint is the trade-off for tire life.
So from a mileage perspective, we've received varying reports, anywhere from about 4,000 to 8,000 miles out of a rear, and a lot of this is going to depend on the weight of the bike, the tire pressure individuals are running, or the ambient temperatures in which they're riding.
But if that mileage isn't going to cut it for you long-distance hog riders out there, we have some other recommendations for you. So let's move on to the best touring and commuting tires of 2022.
So like Brandon alluded to, our first pick is going to be for the best touring and commuting tires for cruiser riders. And this year we've actually split our picks between the Michelin Commander 3 cruiser tires for those of you that want to maximize distance, and the Metzler Cruisetec tires for those of you that put a premium on both grip as well as performance.
The Michelin Commander 3s will run you roughly $300 to $450 for a pair, but there is a reason these tires have a long history of showing up in our Gear Guides picks for the best tires of the year. You can expect to and beyond 25,000 miles out of a rear tire, which is crazy, really. You'll actually save quite a bit of time and money not having to change tires as often as you would with a cheaper option.
Now the Commander 3s are going to feature Michelin's proprietary amplified density technology, or ADT for short. But what does that mean? Well, it means that the Commander 3s feature a 90 thread ply that's about 25% more dense than a conventional 71 thread ply tire. And Michelin claims that this is going to improve both feedback as well as handling.
The Metzler Cruisetec tires will run you about the same price as the Michelins, and you'll probably only get about 12,000 to 15,000 miles out of the rear, but they do offer improved grip. Think of these as somewhere between the Shinko 777s and the Commander 3s.
Now, the Cruisetec features a dual compound rubber, which utilizes a harder compound in the middle and then a softer compound at the edges, thus allowing for a blend of longevity as well as performance. We've heard some complaints from folks around the Commander 3s regarding their wet weather performance. The Cruisetec tires, however, offer great grip in both wet and dry conditions.
This is something the Cruisetec has in common with our next pick for the best touring and commuting category, which is the Michelin Road 5 tires for general street riding and sport touring.
So backed by popular demand, the Road 5s are a do-anything sport touring tire that can handle carving the canyons with the best of them or laying down miles on the interstate. These are probably the tires that I recommend the most for all-around general street riding. and they're going to set you back roughly around $400 to $450 for a pair.
And that might sound a little bit steep, but keep in mind, these are tires that are known for tremendous longevity. It's nothing to get about 10,000 miles out of the rear. So if you log a lot of miles on your bike, these are another money saver as you're going to be paying for fewer tire swaps.
But even with all of their longevity, the Road 5s don't sacrifice grip. And that's because these tires are going to feature Michelin's dual compound tech, which utilizes a harder compound of rubber in the center of the tire for longer life, yet it's going to have a softer rubber at the far sides for better grip at extreme lean angles.
And with Michelin's XST Evo siping technology, these tires maintain confidence-inspiring grip regardless of the weather conditions you're riding in. There is also a GT version for heavier sport touring bikes and a trail version for those of you with ADV bikes that typically stick to the tarmac.
Now, it should be noted that at the time of recording this video, we have learned that Michelin is planning on releasing a new Road 6 version of this tire. However, we haven't been able to test it yet. So depending on what time you're watching this, you might want to consider the soon to be released Road 6s along with the Road 5s. These are sport touring royalty. I'm sure the 6s will be the same. They have quite a long pedigree.
So let's move on to our pick for the best sport tire for 2022. And this year we simplified our pick down to one that can be used for both the street as well as the track, and that is the Dunlop Q3 Plus, coming in around $375 to $410 for the pair, depending on the sizes that you need.
Now, in the past, we've actually discussed sport tires for the street, but the truth of the matter is the Road 5s are so good that they're really going to cover pretty much anyone out there looking for a good sport street option. So we wanted to focus on folks that are looking for a great tire that's going to be street legal for everyday use, but it can also handle itself exceptionally well on the occasional track day.
This tire has been around for a few years now, and it's one that we just keep coming back to. The Plus was a redesign of the original Q3, and it added Dunlop's multi-tread technology to the rear tire. Essentially, it received a longer wearing compound at the center strip with softer, grippier compound at the edges of the tires. This resulted in increased mileage out of the rear tire without sacrificing that performance that we love so much at a full lean. It's not unheard of for riders to get about 2,000 to 3,000 miles with a track day or two thrown in there, and about 5,000 miles, I would say, with the rear tire if you're not doing any track days. That's honestly really impressive considering this is a performance-oriented tire.
And speaking of performance and the abilities of this tire, I first used it on the track mounted on an S1000RR at California Superbike School. And this really is their go-to option for students' bikes. And a lot of that has to do with the neutral way these tires handle themselves. They change directions easily, they hold the line nicely, and they allow you to make adjustments to your mid-corner line without sacrificing stability.
Now, Dunlop has a lot of fancy terms in here, like their CFT, referring to their carbon fiber reinforced sidewalls, or IRP, which refers to their intuitive response profile of the rear tire. But really, all you need to know about that is that these tires work. They're one of our favorites personally. They're favorite amongst our staff as well as customers alike.
So let's move on to the next category, the best adventure tires of 2022.
For those of you out there that spend the majority of your time on the street while still tackling the occasional fire road, our pick this year goes to the Continental TKC 70, coming in between $300 to $420 for a pair, depending on the size you need, of course.
Now, we really like the Continental manufactures these in a wide variety of sizes. They're going to work for pretty much every adventure bike on the market, as well as some bikes that aren't even classified as ADV. Now, these are going to be manufactured using Continental's continuous compound technology, which means they're going to give you long life when burning down straight stretches of highway, as well as excellent feedback on twisty mountain roads. We've had reports of riders getting over 10,000 miles out of these before needing to be replaced. But depending on the size of your motorcycle and how you're using them, we're going to say that about 6,000 to 7,000 miles, well, that's probably more the average.
The one thing to note with any tire, but especially with wear on ADV tires, is that maintaining the correct tire pressure is extremely important for optimal wear and longevity. If you're airing down your tires for the off-road application, which you absolutely should, make sure to air them back up again before tackling those long stretches on the interstate.
And to be clear, these tires are for riders that are out there spending the majority of their time on the street, but with the occasional hard-packed fire road thrown into the mix. There is going to be a rocks version of the TKC 70 rear that just gives you a bit more off-road traction and grip, and you can pair that with the regular TKC 70 front tire, but even then, you're not going to want to go looking for sand and mud. No, not with a TKC 70.
For those of you out there that do like playing around in the sand and the mud, you'll want to check out our final ADV pick, the off-road focused Continental TKC 80 tires, the older sibling to the TKC 70s.
So last year, we went with the Pirelli Scorpion Rally tires as our top off-road pick, and while they're still a great option, we received some feedback from folks that said they were simply too off-road focused for the average rider. So, for 2022, we decided to opt for a tire that was truer in its 50-50 nature, that can handle off-road well, but still performs admirably on the street. And the TKC 80 is a natural choice, given its pedigree and overall popularity in this segment. I actually got to spend a few months revisiting these tires on a BMW F850 GS this past summer, and I was pleasantly reminded of how good these tires are as an all-around option.
And so was I, because I was getting a lot of ruse from this guy over here. But the TKC 80s will run you between $275 to $426 for a pair. Their wide block tread pattern delivers a surprising amount of grip on the road as well as off-road, whereas the TKC 70s, as we mentioned before, quickly find their limits in the sand and the mud. The TKC 80s maintain that strong stability in soft terrain, but they also don't pack up with mud like the TKC 70s can.
The main trade-off, however, for their do-everything performance is their longevity. Now, I've gone through my fair share of TKC 80s over the years, and the most I've ever been able to eke out of a rear tire is a little over 4,000 miles. That being said, they really do start to sacrifice their mechanical grip around 2,500 miles, and that's simply referring to the fact that when the knobs begin to wear down, they simply can't physically grab into the dirt.
And grabbing the dirt, that is a perfect segue into our final category of this video, the best dirt tires of 2022. And for a second year in a row, our pick is a mixed combination of the Bridgestone M59 for the front wheel, and then we've got the Shinko 525 hybrid cheater tire at the rear.
Listen, we fully understand that we could do an entire video just on the best dirt bike tires for each specialized terrain that you might encounter across the US or the world for that matter. But our goal here was to pick the best do-anything option to tackle whatever the trail or the track might throw your way.
And this is a combo that so many of us here use on our personal bikes. I literally have this combination on my bike right now, Spurg.
As do I.
There you go.
So the Bridgestone M59 at the front provides incredible traction in everything from sand to mud to rocks. You can rail on a motocross track or on a rutted out woods trail, and it's going to hold its own. It also features solid wear life, so you get quite a few rides out of its $100 price tag.
Yeah, for sure. The Shinko 525 cheater hybrid rear is going to run you about $55 to $95 depending on what size you need, and this is another perfect kind of do-anything option that provides fantastic grip in a wide variety of trail conditions, and yet it can handle an impressive amount of off-road hours before giving up on you, especially at that price point.
So if you like to ride in a variety of terrain, or perhaps you're just new to the off-road world and you're not really sure where to start, you really can't go wrong with this combo. M59 up front, 525 cheater hybrid out back. And with that, it's going to wrap up our top picks for the best motorcycle tires of 2022.
But don't forget, we've also put together gear guide articles on Common Tread that provide greater detail on every category across motorcycle gear.
There's a lot of great gear out there, and you're going to get to read about all the other options that deserve your consideration for the new year. So don't forget to also check out any of the detailed breakdown videos for the tires that you've seen today.
And after that information overload, if you're still feeling a bit unsure as to what tire is right for you, please don't hesitate to reach out to our customer service team. They're well versed in the world of moto gear, and they'll be happy to get you pointed in the right direction.
So for myself and for Brandon, I want to thank you for watching this video. Enjoy the ride.
Keep it pinned.